welcome to another episode of Cranking Out Crafts. My name is Brandon, and on today's episode I'm going to teach you how to make these duct tape flowers. And we use the animal print duct tape, so they look really cute. So you're going to need a couple supplies. You're going to need Londi wire, which is this, it's like a foil covered wire. This is the thin wire. It comes in thick and thin. You're going to want to use the thin version. You're going to need some tube forms, and they come in a pack like this. There's about 10 different forms, or you can use something like a bottle, some kind of bottle, as long as it doesn't have a lip or anything that will prevent you from pulling your wire form off. Stamens, scissors. You're going to need a pliers, thread, 16 gauge floral wire. This is going to be used for your stem, floral tape, and of course your duct tape. We're going to use this cheetah print. So first thing you're going to do is create your wire forms. You're going to need a total of 9 wire forms to make one flower. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this size tube to make our largest of our petals. You're going to need 5 large petals, and you're going to need 4 small petals. So this is going to be our large petal. You want to try and create a wire form that's going to be just as wide as you don't want it to be any wider than your duct tape, otherwise you're going to see the seam in your petals. So you want to create your wire form and then shape it into the petal that you want. This is going to be for our large petal. For our small petals, we're going to just use this bottle of twinkles, and you're just twisting it at the bottom, and you're going to leave off about 3 inches or 4 inches of wire, and that'll be our small one, and then we'll shape that into our flower also. So again, 4 small and 5 large. Then what we're going to do is we're going to tape both sides of our petals. So with our large one, we're just going to lay it flat on top of our duct tape, and then fold that over, and just make sure that it covers both sides evenly. And you just want to press it in there really good so that you can see the wire underneath, because you're going to use that as your guide when you trim your petal. Cut that off, and then trim your petal. You want to make sure that you leave duct tape on the ends on this side also. That'll help to hide your threads and stuff when we finish with this. Okay, so you just want to leave it like that. And I have a lot of them done here. I have my 3 small. I made 1 too many. So we're gonna do 1 more. This is the small one. And the small ones are easy enough to just go the width. And then we'll just trim this. And trim this side. Okay, and now we're ready to put everything together. So we have our 4 small and our 5 large. You're going to take your stamens. If you want to add stamens, you don't need to add the stamens, but I think stamens looks a lot nicer. And I like to use a lot of stamens. A lot of people just like to use 5 or so. I like to use 15. And then you're just going to take all your stamens and you're going to wrap it around the base of one of your small petals. And you're going to wrap it around like this and bring it up to the middle. Oh, this one's not cooperating. Okay. And you're going to bring it up to the middle like this. This is going to be the center of your flower. And then you're going to take regular all-purpose thread. You just want to use regular all-purpose. Don't use a button thread or an upholstery thread or any of those heavy-duty threads or dental floss. And we're going to double up our thread. So I'm going to pull about 36 inches of thread, and we're going to start from here, wrap it around our first petal and all the stamens, and we're going to sandwich the stamens in between the 2 petals. Okay, and then using the double thread, we're going to wrap it around maybe about 4 times. Okay, wrap it around really tight. If your stamens don't come out bunched together, you can just take the thread and wrap it around your stamens and pull it down like that, and that'll scrunch it all up together so that it looks a lot neater. Okay, and then you're gonna take your other two small petals and you're gonna put them on both sides of the sandwich petals. And again, you're just gonna wrap about 4 times, really tightly, as tightly as you can. And then with our large petals, you're just gonna place one big petal on the side, wrap it a couple times, and then you're just gonna give it a slight turn, and you're gonna overlap with the next one. Okay, and tightly wrap that one, slight turn, overlap that one, and just keep going until you do that with all your petals. Okay, so that's our 4th one, and then our last one. Okay, and now that we have all our petals together like that, we're gonna get our 16 gauge wire. You're gonna cut it to whatever length that you want your stem to be. Just place it up against the base of your new flower, and you're gonna wrap the thread around that also. And you're gonna wanna, if you see down here, you have like all these little pieces of wire sticking out. You wanna use your thread to smash all of that down. You want it to be as smooth as possible. And then just keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. And when you get to this point, you're just gonna wrap the ends of your thread around the little pieces of wire here, and that'll lock your thread in. So just give it a tug and then you can just rip it apart, and there's no tying involved. And then you're just gonna take your floral tape and starting at the base of your flower, you're gonna wanna wrap around that first, and try to go above your thread so it covers everything up. And then just keep wrapping tightly all the way down. When you pull your floral tape, it creates this sticky this stickiness that doesn't require taping or anything. It just tapes on its own. Okay. And then you can go all the way down, but we'll stop there so I can show you how to fold this open. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start from the outside, and we're gonna fold all the large petals out, and you just want to fold it down so that it looks like a flower. Okay, and just make sure that each one is overlapping the next like this, and then you can maneuver it to whatever, and then you can do your inner petals. And that's it. There's your duct tape flower. Very cute. Hope you had fun, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.